Ethan and Harper had been together for quite a while, having crossed paths at a friend's birthday bash. Ethan was instantly drawn to the striking brunette with a slim figure, and their conversation left him utterly captivated. Their romance blossomed steadily without any major hiccups. Then came the day when Ethan proposed that Harper move in with him, but she respectfully declined. She held firm to her belief in waiting until marriage before sharing a home. This principled stance of hers even impressed Ethan, as not many had such unwavering convictions. He'd heard tales from friends about how most girls were eager to shack up to save on rent. But Harper was different. Despite her stance, Harper gladly accepted Ethan's gestures of affection. They spent quality time together several days a week, with her occasionally staying over at his place. Things were going smoothly. Ethan found himself envisioning a future with Harper, seeing past any imperfections she might have had. Then one day, Harper called him in a panic, seeking urgent assistance. She needed to rush to her parents' place in another city for a couple of days, leaving her cat alone. Without hesitation, Ethan rushed to her side, drove her to the station, helped with her luggage, and made sure to grab a spare set of keys from her apartment to ensure her furry friend, Muja, wouldn't go hungry. True to his word, Ethan faithfully tended to Muja, warmly welcoming Harper back with a bouquet of flowers upon her return. Amidst the hustle and bustle, Harper inadvertently left her spare keys behind, nestled in Mason's house drawer. As time drifted by and summer approached, Harper began expressing her weariness more frequently, longing for some relaxation. She dropped hints, not so subtly, about wanting to recreate their joint seaside getaway from the previous year. However, Mason lamented his lack of extra funds, claiming he couldn't afford a vacation at the moment. In truth, he had already started scrimping and saving for a stunning engagement ring, a sacrifice he deemed worthwhile. Naturally, he kept this plan under wraps, leaving Harper disheartened by his apparent refusal. Consequently, their once warm relationship began to cool. Harper started declining meetups more often, citing work business, despite her previous eagerness to chat at any hour. Sensing her gradual withdrawal, Ethan grew anxious. He dreaded the thought of losing Harper and felt the need to reignite their spark with a thoughtful gift, hoping to thaw her aloofness. As Ethan contemplated his surprise, an old friend delivered a jolting blow with unsettling news. He'd allegedly spotted Harper with another man. They were intimately close, his arm draped around her waist, and they even drove off together. "Are you absolutely certain it was her?" Ethan queried, his disbelief palpable. "It really did seem like her. I'm almost certain it was Harper," Ethan muttered, his brow furrowed in concern. "But if even the friend himself isn't sure about what he saw, why should I take it as truth?" He reassured his friend that it must have been a misunderstanding and remained steadfast in his belief that Harper would still be his future wife. "She's unlike anyone else, you'll see," he reiterated, though his smile held a tinge of sadness. Yet he refrained from further attempts to sway his friend's opinion, trusting that life would unfold as it should. A couple of days later, Ethan settled on his surprise plan, opting to utilize the long-forgotten spare key from the table drawer. With Harper's ongoing reluctance to meet due to household chores, he aimed to inject some joy into her routine. His scheme was set. Arriving at her place earlier than usual, he'd greet her with flowers and a meal from her beloved restaurant, culminating in presenting her with the exquisite pendant she'd admired for so long. Ethan was thoroughly pleased with his arrangement. The following day, he wrapped up work early, timing his arrival for when Harper was still out. After unlocking the apartment and securing the door from within to avoid suspicion, he arranged everything meticulously. Glasses poised, yet Harper failed to return promptly. Minutes turned into an hour, then longer. With a heavy heart, Ethan glanced at the clock, then at the now chilled feast he'd ordered. As he contemplated leaving, a movement outside caught his eye. Peering through the window, he spotted Harper disembarking from a car, accompanied by a stranger. They're making their way to the entrance. This is getting intriguing, Ethan mused, deciding to observe their next move. Confronting the stranger outright seemed odd. Who knew what role he played in Harper's life? Perhaps he was even a relative, and appearing unexpectedly in an ostensibly empty apartment wasn't the wisest move. Moreover, if Harper did indeed have a clandestine romance, intervening would serve no purpose. Ultimately, Ethan swiftly stashed away his shoes, the bouquet, and the food, relocating them to the balcony before retreating to the cramped walk-in closet in the bedroom. Meanwhile, the front door swung open, admitting Harper and the man into the apartment. Initially, Harper appeared animated, engaged in conversation, but her voice soon trailed off. In place of her cheerful chatter, there arose a subtle rustling, heralding the moment of truth. They didn't pause, their lips meeting fervently as they gravitated towards the bedroom, arms intertwined, eventually collapsing onto the bed. Unable to contain himself any longer, Ethan burst forth from the closet with such suddenness that Harper let out a startled shriek. "Who's this, your paramour?" the man exclaimed, disentangling himself from Harper, the scene unfolding like a scene from farcical tales of lovers caught in the act. "Ask Harper. I believe she has an explanation," Ethan interjected, both men fixing their gaze on her. "Are you involved with him?" the man interrogated harshly, but Harper remained speechless. The element of surprise was utterly shattered, though there was undoubtedly a different kind of surprise lingering in the air that evening. A guest named Mason was in the same boat as Ethan, completely unaware that he was one of Harper's suitors. He had invited her on a seaside vacation, but she had extended an invitation to his home instead. The realization of this fact came to both men at the very moment Harper sat on the bed, face tucked into her hands, writhing in embarrassment. "That's not exactly the scenario you had in mind, even in the most comedic sense," the man remarked, breaking the awkward silence of the evening. After gathering their belongings and making some less than polite remarks to Harper, the two men quickly left her apartment. Ethan, understandably, had changed his mind about proposing to his former lover. After the noisy departure of the two gentlemen and the subsequent curiosity on the part of nosy neighbors, the apartment owner immediately evicted Harper, deciding that she was conducting illegal business on the premises. The exact nature of her activities became common knowledge among the city's landlords, and thereafter no one sought to associate with Harper.